All right, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. We have a couple things on the agenda, but before, what's today? Today is October 27th. The month is almost over, but we gotta start it off right tonight. We are super excited. I mean, honestly, both times I jumped off my chair. I forget that my arm is injured. We are so excited that Carolina and the Rosas are coming to Punta Cana.
What?
We're really, really excited. And I think that you guys are probably tired of us talking about this time and time and time and time again. Every single time we come back from an event, we say it's all about us being there together. And honestly,
the beauty is you're not going to have to hear us anymore because now it's going to be Wendy, Rudy, and Carol. I'm like, shut up. No,
and now they can come back and talk about how amazing it is. And, honestly, these types of trips that the company puts together, Summit is amazing. I'm not even going to go there because Summit, the people who were there know how amazing it was. Summit, Beachbody does a really great job, putting events together for us. But Summit is an investment, right, that we have to do. And for those of you who earn it, is something that, it's a good gift because you go to the event for free, but we still have to invest, right? But these trips, when it comes to Success Club trips or leadership trips or new leader conference trips, those, if you earn it, they pay for it. All we got to do is show up. We got to pay for our flight. But besides that, they pay for everything. And honestly, that's when Jorge, when we went to Cancun, he was just like, whatever, We went to Cancun, he became a full believer of this business because they go above and beyond, right? So I'm super excited. I can't wait for,
it'll be dangerous. It'll be dangerous over there.
It's October. When I got off the list, it was already in the year, so we still have plenty of time. I just spit, sorry. I'm so excited. But I literally got off, I think it was 3 weeks before, right? We went in March, and so I got off in February, or maybe it was in April, and I got off in March.
At the last minute.
Right, we were last minute, which means that we still have November, December, January, February. When is the trip? In March? April. So we still have 2 months this year, and then January, February, March. We still have 5 months for more of you to get off the list and make it happen. And making it happen means continue to hit Success Club, continue to, obviously help more people because that's what it's all about. So they reward that. So I'm excited. We just wanted to open it up. Congratulations, guys. I'm super excited to celebrate.
Awesome.
Then I want to go in really quickly to talk about our Success Club shout out. So I want to have the individuals that have already helped a minimum of 3 lives so far this month. Amy Bear, who has helped 5 lives in her business center and 2 in her husband, so a total of 7. Congratulations, Amy. Maritza has helped 4 lives this month. Ada has helped 4 lives this month. Bernie has helped 4 lives this month, and Michelle and Jamie have helped 3 lives. And Jamie, are you now? I saw his face somewhere. Are you now live? You live?
No, I'm going to start tomorrow.
All right. So then that means that Michelle's going to be at 4 lives, and then here we go, baby. It's your time to shine. We're excited to welcome you into officially welcome you into Team Advent. So let us know. So
thank you.
Many of you are, one person away. Well, we some of you are 1 person away, two people away, even 3 people. We still have plenty of time. We have still tonight. I've been putting some of the call to actions, the follow-ups and the invitations. Ada posted the one that she's been sending out. So make sure that you are utilizing those, guys. Those are the ones that are going to start up the conversations with people, and you'll be able to, use the interview process to close them. All right. So the other thing is that please let me know. I've been talking to our diamonds who are pushing, or our diamond pushers, I should say. And I shared one of my private messages with someone that I closed yesterday. So, we talk about, and I don't want to make this call about closing people, but we talk about how someone has to be mentally ready, right? I've been talking to this girl since, I believe I can't remember what I said in the chat. I think it was June or early this year. And she wasn't ready then. She was trying different things, but I was consistent with following up. And then I'm consistent, in posting my stuff on social media. So then even though I'm injured, I'm still trying to be a coach. And so she reached out to me and she was like, all right, I see that you're talking about you have to keep your nutrition on point. What are you doing? Right. So we started chatting. So I have that. I took pictures of that. I'm typically a phone girl, but she couldn't get on the phone with me yesterday. So I was like, I'm traveling, so let me try to just do this. This is the way I used to close before. So I had a conversation with her via private message. And then when I went to go close her, I did it through voice note because I need them to hear my excitement. So I share that with the diamond pushers, and I'm willing to share that in our chat if anyone wants to see it as well, just so that you guys could see how I do it. All right. Now I want to talk about Team Spirit. So Team Spirit is open for registration October 17th to the 31st. So if you haven't registered, if your teams haven't registered, please be sure to nudge them and make sure that, everyone is registered. We need at least 20 people in order to even be considered. So if not 20 of us are registered, then we really don't have a Team Spirit team. So let's make sure we get everybody. I'm going to go back and count the people who have registered. I'm going to register Jorge tonight because that counts. And then the Team Spirit time frame is from November 1st to the 30th. The beauty of that is that it's really just celebrating teams, right? And celebrating the amount of people we save, but not just that. It's about how nicely we work together. And so every single person who registers and achieves Success Club 5 will win something. So that's the amazing thing about this. So make sure you register, make sure you're registering your team so that everyone who achieves Success Club will get, and I think it's like quarter force, word share. So it's going to be cool, right? So there's, so you guys know, so the team obviously is Team Advent. Make sure that you put my name, it's only one L, Gabriela Lopez. I know many of you guys just know me by Gabby. And then the highest points obviously wins, but there's 5 categories. The 5 categories are Team Spirit Champion, highest number of Success Club points, highest number of Success Club points, because they know that some teams might be bigger than others, right? So they have to take that into consideration. Most participants on a team, and then most spirited. How do we earn points? So for every Success Club point, we get 1 Team Spirit point. And then they'll double that once the individual is added into the application, into our tracker application, challenge tracker. So we have to use, I think Beachbody is really honing in on that because they've spent a lot of money in that application. They want to make sure that they're tracking our challengers. So if you basically sell a challenge pack, which is 2 points, and you put this person in the challenge tracker and they utilize it, then it gets doubled. But that person needs to be in there before January. I forget the date, but before January, basically. The other piece is that the other way we can earn more points if that person logs in. I believe it's 2 Shakeologies and 2 workout pictures, though, in combination. But if you want to read more about it, if you're an Emerald, FAQ 1726. So make sure that we are all registered. Make sure that you nudge your teams. And I'm going to go count and make sure that we have at least 20. All right. So I'm excited about that. and why not win some more free stuff, right? All right, so now we want to talk about leadership. We want to just kind of share what, you know, our experience was, and what our biggest takeaways and like you know, aha moments for us were. But we do have the recordings. Someone recorded all the sessions, or all the presenters, I should say, and I've shared that in the leaders page. But if anyone here is willing and wants to have them and, you know, watch them at your own pace for personal development, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll share that with you guys. They're all on YouTube. So, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Oh, go ahead. I'll jump in.
Okay. So, so first of all, Beachbody is taking it back to basics. So a lot on the wall. So the wall, for those of you who don't know, is a group that is basically monitored by corporate, and it's 5 stars and above. Once you get to 5 star, they put you in there. And honestly, like when I first got there, because a lot of people make a big deal, like, oh my God, the wall, you know? But lately, the wall has been really negative. Like a lot of people have been complaining about volume and about, you know, what's going on and blah, blah, blah. So what we learned at corporate, at the leadership, was that the issue is that we've been focusing too much on, what was it? We've been focusing too much on focusing on the shiny things as opposed to focusing on our challengers, right? So we've lost track of that as a company, which is
basically what it comes down to in a nutshell is that at leadership, there was a lot of people that make a lot of money, and they were focusing on the money and kind of not where they came from. Obviously us or Gab, really, you know, we're not obviously not there yet. But these people are making
significant amount of money,
15,000 plus a week. I
right.
mean, they're sharing that. They're talking about that. It's crazy. You know, it's realistic. But so they found their businesses getting like stagnant, or like what's going on? Like we see a slowdown, and it's so funny. One coach specifically said, "Okay, so I'm not making $18,000 this week, but I'm making $16,000 this week." I'm like, okay. And so that,
but she wasn't complaining.
She wasn't complaining, but she was putting stuff in, responding and putting things into perspective. And really what it comes down to is that they lost track of what this business is. You know, this business, yes, you can make, if you're consistent and you do the little things day to day, it's going to eventually add up. Mind you, everybody who's talking like that is 3.5 years plus, you know, 4, but not far out. We're not talking 10, 15 years. We're talking very close. 3 years goes like that, right? And they lost track of those things. So they're just saying, you know, I'm making a lot of money. You know, all of a sudden I'm getting really fancy with websites and my posts, and I'm losing track of what we're supposed to do, which is getting people that look to you to better themselves, to live a healthy and fulfilling life. People who are sick, people who have never exercised, people who are dependent on prescription drugs, to, you know, cholesterol medicine, high blood pressure medicine, and wondering why their business is taking a very slight dip. For us, we'll take that dip any day, but for them, they're like, you know, what's going on? Because these are complacent, you know, coaches who've been here for a while. So it's really just, let's go back to the roots. Let's not forget where we came from. Because when we first started, you know, we were products of the product. We were seeing our challengers through from step A to step Z. And a lot of these guys and gals, I should say, the majority gals, but we're looking and saying, you know what? I failed a lot of my challengers, because if they said, if they stopped checking in a week or two, they just let them go, as opposed to saying, no, you hired me to help you change your life. And so my responsibility is, so those people probably say, oh, you know what? I did buy Beachbody products and they didn't work. They probably didn't work because that was somebody who was looking towards you, or looking up to you for that for that accountability, right? Because they don't have it. So if you stop checking in on your people and they're not being responsible, they just disappeared, right? So a lot of these coaches were actually right now going back to basics and going back through their databases of years of challengers and saying, I don't have a before and after of you. I failed you. So then, you know what? Give me a second chance, rehire me. You don't have to buy anything. Just let me make sure that when you came to me 2 years ago and you never followed through your challenge group, that I want to make sure that I make it up to you because I owe that to you because that's what I'm here for. That's what you came here for me. That's why you came to me initially. So a lot of these coaches are going back to that and making sure that they are building we'll talk about that, their brag book of all these before and afters or their happy book. So they can go back and see, wow, I really am changing people's lives.
Mm-hmm. So they focused on, like what Jorge was saying, the fact that the heart of this business is fitness, is our challenge group. And so when we move a lot of people, it's crazy. I've run 1 or 2 challenge groups every single month since I've been a coach. Every single month. I'm guilty of not being as strict as I used to be. Carol's on this call, and Nilda and Michelle, who were my first, maybe first or second, I think it was second challenge group. And they definitely, could, testify that I was like hardcore when it came to the nutrition. I used to be in there like hours in my challenge group, making sure that everyone was getting results because I was so, to me, it worked for me and I needed to pay it forward. And that's how excited I was. And that's how excited we all start. And we kind of lose track because of, as we have growing teams, we have to be kind of many places at the same time. And so they talked about the fact that when we lose sight of that, and it's like I was saying, I've heard people say that they don't run challenge groups. And I'm like, what? Like, that doesn't even make right. I saw some of your faces, right? And it's like, how do you not run a challenge group? Like you're telling people to trust you, right? And then you're going to walk them through a journey. You're going to be there with them. How do you just kind of disconnect? It's crazy. So then what happens is when you're not there, you're just getting someone for the Success Club points, and then you're dumping them somewhere maybe, or you just forget about them. These are the people who are reaching out to many of you guys saying, I don't have a coach. Can you work with me, right? Because someone literally took them in and used them as points, right? And that's not what we do on this team. And so when you lose track of that and you don't show them the value of eating healthy, of exercising, of Shakeology, then guess what? They're not going to stay on Shakeology. And then that's why people are seeing dips in the number, because people, the average day of a customer on Shakeology is like 3 to 4 months. And we're seeing a lot of just maybe they buy the challenge pack and then they cancel. So of course they're going to feel that, right? And so it was definitely getting back to basics, getting back to when the company was, with the founding coaches. And we want to make sure that we continue that. So they brought up this new, it's not a new process, but it's basically like a process that we should be following along, which is the VITAL process. And the VITAL process has 4 steps to it. The first one is getting your clients or your customers or your challengers started right, which means that you give them a good experience, through the invitation process, through the closing process, and then you put them into a challenge group and you hold them accountable, because many of these people need to be held accountable. Many of these people need you to check in with them. Carl talked about talking to someone, and many of you guys, I was dropping stuff in here because I was so excited when I was there, and you guys saw some of the clips. I'm sorry, there were like 1,000. But he talked about conversation on the phone. Get to talk to these people twice a week. They need to hear your voice. They need to know they can count on you. They can trust you, right? And so once you get them in there and you show them results, right? That's the second one. You show them results. You get them those results. The results that you promised them. The results that they trusted you with, right? And so basically, That's the second one. And then once they have a belief system, because a lot of our coaches who come in without having done the program, been on Shakeology for a month at least, they don't have that belief system yet. They don't trust us yet. So when we don't have that, and we're asking them to become coaches first without them experiencing at least 3 days, you know, with a 3-day refresh, or a 21-day, you know, with the 21-day fix, or a 30-day with, you know, another program, they don't have something to go by. They don't have results yet. So they're not only not confident, they don't trust the system because they don't have anything to trust yet. But when we show them results and we show them that it works, then they become advocates. And then you can invite them into the business opportunity. And then you can say, hey, you can be amazing at this, right? And obviously it's a choice. You can either be just a coach for the discount because now you love Shakeology and you want to stay on it, as opposed to bringing someone in and then they go inactive, and here we are putting out fires, right? We were doing it all wrong, and I'm like guilty of that, because I know that I talked to someone, and I'm not gonna blame anyone, but maybe I misunderstood. The idea is that yes, everybody can be a coach, but there's different levels of coach, right? Some people are just meant to be discount coaches. Other people are just hobby coaches, and other people are business builders. But they have to be advocates first. They have to believe in the products first. They need to be in love with it. And then so the first one is, give them a great experience when they're coming in. So get them started right. Then almost like a coach, right? But you're getting a customer started, right? Then you're going to show them the results. You're going to help them get those results. And then once they get those results, then at that point, you can convert them to be a coach. And then at that point, you can have the conversation. It can be you one-on-one with them. You can invite them to a speaker. There's different ways, use a third-party tool, whatever it is. And then finally, the last step is to mentor them. So mentor your coaches and make sure that you are developing good coaches, right? And when we talked about developing coaches, we're talking about mentoring those who want to run with you, who get this business, who want to be a builder, right? So those are the 4 steps to the VITAL process, and I'm almost pretty sure that I posted it in here while I was out there, but I definitely was like, duh, yeah, it's great because we all need to hear it and we all need to be refreshed. But it's almost like a smack in the face, you get people results, they're going to believe, right? And that once they believe, they're going to trust you. And whatever you tell them, or whatever you recommend, they're going to go with it. And then it's going to be easier. And the enthusiasm is theirs. So it's easier for them to go tell a family member, for them to go and tell, friends, this works. Look at what's happening to me in 21 days, which is why I feel that when Amy and then Rudy and Wendy came on board, and another one who I think everyone here was a challenger first, right? And this is why I think that it works for you guys, because you guys tried it out first. You guys were advocates first. You guys were believers first. You guys trusted the system, trusted the products. And it was easy for you to go out there and say, this stuff works. So when you don't have that belief system, when we enroll a new coach who's never been through the process, it's going to be hard for them. So I think that it was like a huge aha moment for me, because it makes sense. It makes sense to give them the experience, even if it takes 21 days, and then present them with opportunity. Even if we present it 2 weeks in, they've experienced it for 2 weeks. They feel it for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? They've tasted it for 2 weeks. So I think that really was big for me, the fact that we've been doing it wrong. So, but it's good though, because we're a young team, and we can just kind of make that little adjustment that we needed, and then bring in people as challengers, And if they want to be discount coaches, that's fine. I'm not saying don't enroll discount coaches. What I am saying is, you know, when we offer the opportunity to someone, it has to be someone that is going to trust what you're saying, but also we have to be patient with that person because they have to experience this before they can go out and be active. So I think that's a big one for me.
Yeah, and I'll just add, you know, Gab says going to these trips. You know, we've been in the short 2.5 years. We've been going on a lot of these trips, and for us, yeah, we want to have fun and we want to do all that, but you know, we're there for a job, really, and just being a sponge because we talk to so many different people. And you start picking their brain. People just start talking. You know, there's some people who like to brag about what they do because that just. I'll grab information and then we'll take notes down. And the benefits of going to a lot of these trips, and especially leadership, which was the first one for us, is that there was just like a gold mine of information that people were sharing, people who've been in the business for a long time, and not even people who haven't been in there so long for that long, and just being able to come back and share these ideas. And when Gab says we were probably doing it all wrong, you know, at least the foundation, we know that we've been doing something right. But there's always, you know, as you progress in this, there's going to be always a place to grow and tweak it and say, you know what, this person's doing this. I'm going to put it in my own style, and I'm going to do this and take a little bit of that, and just create your own style. So, and at the end of the day, you know, we want to take this, you know, because we want to create freedom for ourselves, and so we take these trips very seriously and trying to bring pearls to you guys so that you guys can implement it and eventually start taking advantage of the trip, so you can start benefiting of a lot of the information to grow yourselves as well.
Yeah. So I just want to give you the belief system, like in the order that they talked about, is the newbie, right? So someone you just enrolled, they become participants in your challenge groups, then they become enthusiasts, and then they become advocates, and that's when you transition them into coaches, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I just want to make sure, I think I dropped this, maybe not, but I'm going to drop it in the team chat. And I'm not going to spend too much time, but I just want to, they shared a graph on where we are in terms of other direct marketing companies. And I mean, our sales have definitely, in the millions, obviously, have like definitely gone up. Like, there's no dip, and I'm going to show you guys, and we are right where Herbalife is. Like, you know, they're like coming down a little bit, and then we're going up. So they've been going up, and then they're dipping right now, and we continue to increase. So I'm going to share that. I thought that was cool.
Mind you, Herbalife is a much older company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, believe it or not, whatever they do, it's a totally different process. But the reality is that we're already, the curve is going up. Just shows you the opportunity that we have and continue to have. We're in a really good place.
Yeah, and Avon too. Avon has been around. You guys know, the makeup, the catalog has been around for many, many years. And
Rudy was an Avon rep.
Well done. But they're coming down. Like, their sales were ridiculous, but they've been dipping, and we're almost like where they are as well. So it's pretty, satisfying to see that this company, as young as it is doing so well. So I definitely share that with you guys. I think that for me, that was some of the bigger ones. They kept going back to the challenge groups. They kept going back to the belief system. They kept going back. So I'm going to leave you with this, and then Jorge's going to talk a little bit about branding. So Carl Deichler spoke about, he had a presentation at, and I might not do it justice, but he had a presentation, he said, with all the like high executives of direct marketing companies, and he had to speak. And they were kind of brainstorming and talking about what makes a good product, what makes a good company, direct marketing company. And a lot of people think that if you have something to sell, and it comes from you to the, you know, to the customer directly. It's cheaper, obviously, right? There's no one in between, so you save that cost. And a lot of people were saying, you know, or I guess the issue is that, you know, some of the direct marketing companies are portraying that, you know, you can make so much money doing this. You know, you can have these type of cars and these type of houses and all these trips and without really sharing, like, it takes time, right? It's not an overnight success. It does happen, but it takes time. It takes hard work, dedication, consistency, all of that, right? But it's not that, because when you sell, for example, something in a box and you don't know what's in the box, not a lot of people are going to be crazy about buying it, right? It's not going to be like, hey, you know, do you want to buy my box? And you don't even know what's in there. And you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm going to buy 500 and then I'm just going to, you know, sell them to 500 people because I'm going to become a millionaire. But you have no idea what's in the box. So he kept talking about, when we know what's in the box and we believe in the products of the box and we're just so excited and trust this, selling it is a piece of cake because you are so excited, you know, you are a product of it. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're selling, but if you believe in it, you have used it, you know exactly what it is, like the sharing becomes easy. And so I thought, you know, and I'm not, like I said, I think you need to watch his presentation. They're all like 20 minutes. They're really short, but he does a better job, obviously, doing this. But the idea is that we have to be, you know, believers of our products. We have to be advocates of them. We have to be users of them, which is why the 4 vitals come into play, right? We have to be proof the product works, because one of the presenters said, she's like, you know, picture you being the CEO of Apple walking around with an Android, right? And it makes sense. And they kept talking about, you know, go back to basics, pick a product. A lot of people love to run. A lot of people like to do cycling. A lot of people, you know, like to do, what's that called? CrossFit, whatever. Nothing wrong with that. But if we're trying to help people with our products and we're not using them ourselves, then how do we tell people this works? You know, these are the results it gives. We can't, because there's really no direct correlation to it, because you're not doing it. How do you, the belief is not there. So when they hear you talk, they can feel that, they can sense that. But when they hear someone that is using it consistently, who is a believer, who's you know what I'm saying? Like, they can sense that, they can feel that, they receive that. And that doesn't mean that if, you know, let's say, for example, you have to do every single product that the company provides. Like, you know, some people like to dance, and that's the extreme that they'll do. Some people like insanity, that's what they'll do. Some people like Body Beast, whatever it is, whatever your flavor is that you like, you do. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to do all the products, but at least that you do one of the products and you say, hey, I like to run. I'm a runner. And that's great. I like to run too. I play soccer. But that's, you know, but this core exercise gets me stronger to actually run. So, you know, it's not to say that if you do another exercise outside of Beachbody that you have to stop that exercise. Of course not. You're going to continue doing that, but you also have to implement one of our products so that you can be a proof that the product works, and then you can be a reliable resource to the people that you're attracting. Yeah. So we'll leave you with that. I mean, I think the overall message at Leadership was, take care of your challengers, take care of your people, take care of your challenge groups, focus on the 4 vital behaviors, be proof the product works, make sure that, you know, that you're creating belief, that you're creating, you know, that enthusiasm within your group, so that you can then go in there and offer the opportunity. So Carl Zeichler was walking around with this binder, and I was like, I'm going home and I'm going to make myself a binder. And the binder, he straight up like opens it, and he's like, the first page should be your before and after. And it's like,
It's like this thick.
Yeah, it's like all, and it's all the people who have won money in the company.
Challengers from everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm like, we can start one physically, which I think I'm gonna do, a physical one. But we can also do one, which I started one, and I'm gonna start posting again on it. You can start an album on Facebook and start to post in there. Every week you can post a transformation picture of one of your challengers, so people can go back to it and say, oh my God, look at all these people that, Wendy has helped and Bernie has helped. And you know what I'm saying? So the idea is we can use each other to start it off. So I know I'm going to start a physical one, and I'm going to continue my, what's that called? How do you say that? Not the internet one.
Virtual?
The virtual one. See?
Yeah, because when people contact you and you're, hey, I don't know, I've been thinking about this, you can just shoot them your virtual before and after book and say, these are all the people that we've helped.
Yeah, you can tag them on your album.
And they'll probably look for somebody that kind of looks like them, resembles them, and say, wow, that person kind of looks like me. And now look how they look. I'm in.
Yeah, and the idea is that you share the story, right? So I know that I want to reach out to all of you guys, because all of us have a transformation, and I want to put in my physical book, and then I want to continue to add to the one on Facebook. So so my call to action to all of you is that too. One, create your success book, with your transformation book, because that's going to help you. And go out there on Facebook and say, look at my book, guys. Like, this is my transformation. This is my challengers. And I want you to be a part of this book. Will you join my challenge group? Let's change our lives together, and then that's going to motivate people to be like, I want to be on that book, right? So make sure you do that. And the other one is that he's big on is the end of year resolution. Yeah, why wait for the beginning of the year? Makes no sense. So I always talk about that towards the end of the year anyway. But what he suggested was that what I'm going to do, and I suggest you all do, go back to your list on the back office. You can run a list. You can run a report of all your challengers, and then go back and look at that list and look, are these people engaged? And if they're not engaged, make sure you call them, text them, email them, whatever method you're using, and say, hey, check up on them. It's 2 months to the end of the year. Are you where you wanted to be, at the beginning of the year? And if you're not there, use what you have. Give me another shot. If they want to buy Shakeology, bet. If they don't, so what? Let's give them back that experience that they came in for. And then, when they see everybody else using it, they're going to want to use it, right? But our job as coaches is to help people get results. And so that was his call to action. And I want to make sure that we do that as well. So did you want to just drop in with the branding really quickly?
Yeah, really quickly. I got to talk fast. But so one of the things that we also learned there, and I was kind of getting an idea of that already just by, I haven't been on Instagram in a while, but when I go on Instagram and just look at some of the top coaches, so the number one thing that I started realizing, and then this confirmed it while we were there, is that there's some top coaches that have been here for 6-7 years and, making crazy money. And you would never realize that they were a Beachbody coach. Because when you're looking at their Instagram, you're like, I don't see, I'm flipping, and you don't see anything that has to do with Beachbody. And there's a reason for that, because these people are branding themselves. So one of the key things that the majority of people talked about is that people are not really going to necessarily follow Beachbody. They're going to follow you, right? And so you need to start selling yourself, you do whatever you do. And people are, you're interesting, and let me go jump back to this. And the number one reason that people will follow you, people who don't know you, so we're not talking about Facebook friends, we're talking about people on our journeys, is because they perceive that you know more than them about something. And if it's health and fitness, you guys look fit, you guys live a very exciting and you guys are running, you're working out, you're holding yourself accountable, and you're putting up recipes, and you're eating this, and you're showing your food. And I'm here that, I'm not fit, I'm not healthy, but I'm looking for something. I'm looking to change my life. And I see that I'm going to definitely be attracted to follow you because I perceive you that you know something about health and fitness that I don't know, right? So that's the number one thing. People will follow you because they perceive that you know more than them about a certain whatever it is. In this case, fitness, but just a positive life, overall. But the key thing about it is that so you want to make sure that none of these top coaches. They really, if they drink their shake, they're drinking their shake, but they're never saying it's Shakeology. They're never saying join my 21-day fix. Look at this program. They're never using any of the stock materials from the Beachbody because Beachbody already pays millions of dollars to do the advertising, and you don't need to do it enough for them as well. And what's going to eventually happen is that people are going to look at your feed and say, oh, Wendy she's doing what? Body Beast right now? Wow, she looks great. I'm gonna go buy Body Beast. And I'm not even gonna contact Wendy at all because she just told me her secret, as opposed to, wow, you guys look great and what's going on and exciting life and I'm seeing the before and after and you have your great life and what are you doing? And I can't tell what you're doing, but if you're asking me to join you in this journey, then I'm gonna contact you. And then, oh, by the way, once you build rapport with that person, you say, well, we basically we do this, we eat this, but our vehicle happens to be these certain workouts. What do you like to do? And obviously that's a different conversation. Gab has gone over that and how to actually form the people. But what are you into? Because there's an array of different things. And what are you doing? Oh, and you never tell the person what you're doing. You never want to tell them. If they hit you up, hey, you guys look great. What are you doing? You just say, hey, and then you just form them and entertain them, reel them in, start asking them questions. Oh, yeah, we do an array of different workouts. What do you like to do? What type of workouts do you do? We do from dancing. We do from jumping. In just in easy terms, we do weights. Do you do weights? What do you like? And then you figure out what the person likes, and then you pair them up with the product that we have. And then it never becomes Beachbody, but it became you, showing you what you've done and how it's worked for you and directed them to that product. Because once again, they got interested in you and not in Beachbody. You know what I'm saying? So you want to continuously brand yourselves and what you're providing so that you can take that anywhere. Meaning, let's just say hypothetically, and they use this example. Let's just say I decided that I didn't want to do Beachbody anymore, but every post that I did was Beachbody. I did Beachbody this, I did Shakeology that, 21-day fix here, all that. You're just Beachbody, right? So no one knows you but anything but Beachbody. So if you go somewhere else, you're always going to be the Beachbody person, as opposed to the person who's healthy and fit, that looks like, they know what they're doing. They're on a journey for fitness. They're trying to help people, sort of like a personal trainer, if you will, but really virtually and, you don't cost anything. So you want to make sure that you're branding yourself first at all costs and never really using anything. Beachbody is the backup. That's the vehicle that you use to get there. And that's something that you talk to them virtually.
Can I jump in while you have your notes?
Yeah.
I like what Jorge said in terms of never mentioning, what it is that you do. In that conversation, and this is what I do all the time when I'm on the phone. I don't like texting anymore because it takes forever. I feel like when you have someone on the phone, it's fast, right? You ask questions, you listen. You ask questions, you listen. And the conversation I had yesterday with the PM, you'll see the girl asked me, what does your meal look like? What do you eat? You look so good. And I could have just said, oh, well, I eat blah, 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 blah. I started forming her right away. You know what I mean? Share your secrets. I said, yeah, of course I'll share my secrets. What is it that you're looking to do? Right? And in all my conversations, I never say the 21-day fix ever. I tell them it's a 21-day program because can you put them over there? Because what's going to happen is that if for whatever reason they have a change of heart, now they have the name and they're going to go do it on their own. And so what I never send videos unless I have to. So like if someone says I have to speak to my spouse, I have to speak to my husband, and I'm okay with that because I know that, when I was, still now, right? I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I've always brought my money in myself. And so when I was working, I didn't have to ask Jorge. I would just buy stuff. But when I was not working and not producing, I would have to consult with him. Bring him. Now he woke up. So I would have to consult with him. So I understand that, it can be a little annoying, like, really, you got to ask a man. But it is what it is. She probably does have to ask her husband, to consult, because we don't know what their bills are like, right? Their income, whatever. So I never, guys, mention, oh, it's the 21-day fix, because I'm just being, because I'm providing the value of what I do, as opposed to this is what I use. And, and then when you provide that value, they'll be like, it's only 140, it's only 160. And then I always break it down. It's $467 per day. You told me you're spending $7 a day. That's cheaper than what you're spending right now. So I know it's worked for me. So try it out. And I know that, when you do that, they're buying you, really. That's what they want. They want you. They want the motivation. They need that mentor. So they're that coach. So
just to add to that, I mean, that's the thing, that these, unless you are at these programs live, I mean, we're excited about giving you information, but we're just never going to really do it justice. Yeah. I'm going to finish off with Brandon really quickly, but two stories actually, but one story that a coach mentioned, and it happened to be the number 17 ranked coach, or maybe I'm wrong, but they're high up there right now. And they always talk about when they're forming the person, story sell. So yeah, you know what? I when I realized that I wanted to, I'm the coach, so to speak, and I wanted to get into my journey and hold my accountability. I hired a personal trainer, and it was costing me $300 a week. They were charging me like $80 an hour. They always talk about the more expensive alternative. My gym membership is costing me such and such, very expensive, so that you're painting a picture to that potential challenger as, okay, we're talking about, I know this is expensive to get healthy, and then follow me here. And then when they talk about, okay, so to start with a challenge pack is $140. So their mentality, I'm thinking like, okay, they're talking about this personal trainer is costing them $350 a week or $80 an hour. Or this gym membership was this and that. And I'm already thinking, well, okay, so this process is probably going to be $500 a month or whatever. And then when you lay on the line, the challenge pack to get started with the group, with the program that you want is $140. And I'm like, $140? Wow, that's cheap. And she has had people, when she's taken that route, sort of taking them on a story and talk about the more expensive alternatives. And then you finish it off with yours is 140. They're like, that's it? 140, that's it. And they're like, whoa. And it's like a psyche that they're going to say, I'm in. I'm in. This is awesome. As opposed to, well, let me think about it, and this might be expensive. You want to kind of take them on that roller coaster of potentially it could be expensive for you, but ours is not, and kind of surprise them at the end. And it's just a psyche to get them to start. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Second thing is, would you want to talk about really quickly about letting go, or that's a different story? Letting go people, potential issues. Different. Okay, so forget that. All right, so I'm gonna leave you with this. So I didn't do any justice to the brand, and I just kind of planted a couple of seeds as to why it's important. Ask yourself one of the things, and a lot of people.
Amy was like, you did.
I did what? Oh, okay, I'm gonna close it off with this. If you're finding yourself that you're talking to a lot of people, but you're not getting anybody to close, you're not getting anybody started, go back to your post and see what you posted just throughout your post. And if you find yourself posting a lot of beach body material, that's probably why they are interested, but they're interested in beach body, not so much you. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you check yourself with that and say, hey, because we hear it all the time. I'm talking to a ton of people, but I just can't, for some reason, they're just not saying yes. And it's probably because they're interested in what you're saying, but behind in the back door, they're going to go and buy that product. They're just not going to buy it through you, because once again, you didn't sell yourself. You sold Beachbody, right? So you want to make sure of that. So that's the number one. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you with a podcast, which is awesome. And it talks about if you go podcast on your iPhone, it's free. You just go to search your virtual upline personal branding. So all you have to do is type in your virtual upline, and it's by Bob Hillig. His name is Bob, B-O-B, H-E-L, wait, hold on. Is that?
It's
E-I-L-I-G. And he talks about, this guy has been in network marketing for over 15 years. And he actually happened to join a company that he had recruited in his 10 years at this. He doesn't talk about who it was, but in his 10 years of being in a network marketing company, he recruited 500,000 people. The guy's a multimillionaire and doing this, and the company actually from one night to the next just shut its doors. They decided to get out of the network marketing. So he's like, he goes, he's a firm believer of network marketing, and it's not that he wanted to tell us that, that his company shut down, but it taught him why he had to brand himself. So he had to brand himself as opposed to the company, because let's just say the company goes away, Rich Carl went up there and assured that we are here for the long run. So that's not, and just talking with other people, we're all in with this because this company is going to the top. But that was his lesson as to why he realized he needed to brand himself. And he talks about the importance of branding yourself, how to brand yourself, how to post, what to do. And it's like it's a recipe for you to start selling yourself. And it's like awesome. And a lot of coaches actually shared that podcast because what do you guys listen for PD on helping you brand yourself? And I got this podcast from people at Leadership, and I was listening to them on the plane. It's free. You download it to your phone, and it's awesome. This guy's like high energy, has great information, and it's things that you're going to be able to apply to yourself. So for any reason I spoke too fast and you didn't get that information, we can just put it wherever you need to put it in the email or whatever that is.
The last thing, because Jorge brought up Carl, I want to say that, or two things maybe, whatever. Carl, so in the Elite Mastermind, he said, I was like, he is just the man. He said, I've told my people, like my leadership here, the people who handle like all his stuff, like he just reports to two people, and then, or two people reported to him, and then they handle everything else, right? And he said, what do we need to do? Like, can we expedite this? What do you need money? He's like, I will put my personal capital into this company because I believe so much in this company and what we do. He said that I rather use my money in here than use my money in Wall Street. He said, because that I can't control. This I can control. He said, and I believe so much in our products and that what we do. And then he, they kept mentioning our body mission, which everyone here should memorize it, which is, help people achieve their goals, right? To live healthy and fulfilling lives. And so that was like hone in, like help people reach their goals, not our goals, right? And that's what we started with this earlier, is that, we lost track of that for a moment and as a network. And so they had to like bring us back to where we need to focus our hearts and our work ethic and all of that. So, yeah. And in terms of the branding, use the podcast.
Before you put up your next post, listen to that podcast. It's like 30, 35 minutes, but it's really good. It goes quick. You're going to just, wow. You're going to be like, you know what? I was doing things wrong because I know I told Gab, we got to do this, we got to do that. He hits home with all the information on how to start branding yourself through your posts, Facebook or Instagram. He talks about just choosing 1 to 2 platforms and doing it there and just doing it over and over and over again. And you're going to start seeing that people are going to start following you, and then you're going to be able to, you're building that brand to be able to grow your business.
Guys, and don't be so hard on yourselves, have some grace, with yourselves, because I'm hard on myself and I'm trying to not be, because we're new. I mean, I think I'm the oldest coach here. I've been here for 2.5 months, 2.5 years, wow. Excuse me. I know, right? 2.5 months. All right. But 2.5 years. And if you go back, and I always tell you guys, I'm not good on social media. There's some people that are just so creative, and I feel like, gosh, that just comes naturally to them. But if you look back at my posts, you know, when they have that reminder on Facebook, I'm like, oh my God, like, why do they even put this on my, like, it was crazy. And it's okay. We only learn from making mistakes, right? So just apply, just forget what you did yesterday and apply that podcast and take it from there. Don't worry about anything else. Just worry about the stuff that you can do, you know, from today moving forward, because you can't change the past, but you can certainly do, you know, change today. So don't be so hard on yourselves with, you know, oh my God, I've been doing social media wrong, you know, because I have a ton to still learn. So we just wanted to share those tips with you guys. If you have any questions, please let us know. Any questions? And if you guys got to go, we understand it's 10 o'clock. Any questions? Any feedback?
Hi, Gabby. I have a question.
Yes.
Michelle and I have been having some issues. Let me get out of the dark here. Michelle and I have been having some issues. We're on the phone now where we weren't in the past with like all the people that buy a challenge pack have to go on the phone with us before they even start. And what we're finding is that they're getting into the challenge groups after having the phone conversation, and, you know, we're going over, you know, their goals and everything, and, you know, making it a half hour. I mean, we were on a phone call last night with the girl for about an hour. But what we're finding is that when they're getting into the challenge groups, either they're not posting or they'll drop off, and then we'll reach out to them, and then they don't, you know, we don't hear back from them, and then we'll reach out again. So I guess my question is, like, how far would you say, like, do we go? I mean, it's like with a coach, you know, like if one of our coaches is not on board, then, you know, we kind of let them go, or, you know, so, I mean, how long would you say with like a challenger, do we let them, I mean, how many phone calls do you have to make, or how many times do we have to keep out to them to, you know, for us to say, listen, you know, like this person doesn't want it?
Right.
Yeah. That's a great question, because I remember you're probably like, why am I answering? I'm taking over this call now. No, I'm just kidding. That's a great question, because that's what the top coaches that were presenting there, I mean, they really hit home on this. So I think that we got to bring this up, because a couple of things in the interview process when you're getting them started, remember, they end up becoming a product of what you provide. So if I'm gonna this is gonna come full circle, but if you allow that person to fail, they're gonna tell your friends, oh yeah, I started that stuff, and it's sort of like you're a failure. So Jamie's product, Jamie's team, that doesn't work, right? That's what they're gonna say. So you gotta. So when you're forming or when you're interviewing before they start, two things has to be uncovered before you move forward. The first one is, for you to be successful in your transformation, whatever that is, you want to build muscle or you want to lose weight or whatever that is. In my case, I want to get taller, but that's a different story. But in any case, what you want to say is that is there anything that you're holding on that's going to keep you from being successful? Okay, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What I have found as a coach and working with so many people, usually, you know, people who have gained a lot of weight, maybe have become emotionally dependent on food because of some abuse in their life. It gets deep, because remember, you want to help these people out. You really need to see them from the inside out. So when you really take it to that level, they're going to look at you like, whoa, this is, number one, this is serious, because you're asking me things that no one has ever really asked me. You're not being superficial. You're going deep. So, for example, you can use yourself in a lot of scenarios. I have been just use an example. I've been, for me to be able to lose weight, I had to, I had a lot of family problems, a lot of stress, not great relationships with my siblings, and I just held a lot of things inside, and I just had a lot of anger inside. And I found that through working out, I was able to release that and forgive people in my life that did some hurt for me. So that's kind of what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying I'm acting like you towards your challenger. So are you holding on to anything, that you feel that you need to, let's say, forgive that person or let that person go, just for you, not for them, but emotionally, so that you're going to be able to progress? Because remember, the majority of disorders when it comes to health is a disorder of some sort. It's an eating disorder. It's a stress disorder. It's, bulimia. whatever, the different disorders that they are, it leads always to something. So a lot of coaches are really getting deep and finding out what that problem is first, if they have one. They may say, no, I just want to look better. I have no problems whatsoever. Okay, fine. You uncovered that. Secondly, I want you to understand that that you are giving me, you're empowering me to help you get fit. So what does that mean? Actually,
what does that look like?
What does that look like? So this is what it's going to look like. If you fail, then you make me and my, however you want to word it, me and my team look bad, meaning that we have a product that doesn't work. So what that means is I'm not going to let that happen. So I just want you to know what's going to happen here. If you don't show up, I'm going to continue to bother you because it's my responsibility, because you came to me for a certain reason. You came to me because you wanted to either lose weight, build muscle, whatever it is. Usually, let's just say it's losing weight. And so you entrusted me with that with that responsibility. So I will be damned if I'm going to let you fail. Now, how many times is that going to look like? And you ask the person, when should I actually release you? Because at the end of the day, you have to be mentally prepared. And if you're not mentally prepared, then you need to say, you know what, Jamie? Okay, I know I signed on with you and I know I wanted to lose weight, but I'm being serious right now. I need a month to myself. So I'm releasing you, Jamie, and with no ramifications of you showing you that I'm a failure. I know it sounds cheesy, but it really has to be said. So that I say, Jamie, you know what? Give me a month. Follow up with me after a month. If I gave up. One of the coaches, which is funny, and I was telling this to Rudy, they actually put posts when somebody just kind of disappears. They put posts up in their challenge groups, sort of like milk cartons with people with their faces missing. And, this person's been missing for such and such time. Have you seen them? Sort of like John had committed to his health and fitness. He wanted to get healthy because this, and that. And the reason he came to me is because this, and that. And all of a sudden he's gone missing. Do you guys know where he is? And kind of putting him on the spot, and that's been working for that coach. It's kind of humorous, but it's like, oh shit, excuse my language, but oh my God, they just blasted me in front of the whole group that I haven't been showing up, and being accountable. So they're doing that and they find that to work. So I think those two things, you got to find out what they're holding on to and release it. And once they're released, they're an open, clean slate to be able to progress in life. And then secondly, the permission, where do you set the boundaries? How often do I have to call you? I'm not going to let you fail until you sign off, so to speak, and tell me, don't bother me anymore. It's not you, it's me, like a relationship, and just basically say, I'm not going to hold you responsible for my failure because I'm not the one that's ready for it. So just don't waste your time on me.
Which I think goes back to what we've been talking about with the diamonds on this call. The follow-up with the customers is important, right? We have to have contact with our customers all the time, not just put them in a challenge group and expect that they're going to succeed. Because some people will take off and run and do it on their own, but some people really do need hand-holding. And so I think that, has to be something that works for you guys, but I want to start implementing, with my challengers. I want to have a Zoom call so they can see me, they can see the other people, and then share a success story so that they can be like, oh, that's like me. You know what I mean? Someone who had a success story and they can relate to. And then that could be like their opening. They can ask questions about the meal plan and so on and so forth. But that is so important to connect with their why, which is something that gets them to close, because now what is it that they, what's making them feel that way? Why is it that they let themselves go? So on and so forth. But the other piece to this is that we want to change, we want to change the world, right? One person at a time. But at the end of the day, they're adults and they have to be responsible too, right? Because we can't go to their house and meal prep for them. We can't, if they live close, maybe you can show them one night, right? But we can't.
Rudy does a nice meal prep. He'll come over.
He sure does. You guys did that video? What's up? The bottom line is that we need to be able to be there for them, right? But we can't do the workouts for them. I tell them straight up, you can buy this box, but if you don't open it and you leave it on your counter, it's not going to work for you. You got to work it, right? And I tell them like that all the time. I say to them, if you don't open it, it's not that the box didn't work. You didn't work it, period. And so you need to let them know, like what Jorge said, how many times do you want me to follow up with you? And if you guys agree that it was 3 times and that 3rd time that person didn't reach out to you, then this is what you say to them. Hey, so-and-so, we agree that I was going to reach out to you, this amount of times. I've reached out to you this amount of times. And while I want to still continue to help you, it appears that right now you're not mentally ready. And that's okay. But I want you to know that my group is open for you at any point that you become ready. Because if you don't say that, they'll feel embarrassed to come back to you when they are ready, and they'll go somewhere else. So make sure you always, always leave the door open, and you always check back in on them. So you released them a month ago, you check up on that person and you say, hey, how are you doing? Where are you? Which is why that call to action I gave you guys is important. Let's go back to all our challengers that have fallen off. It's our responsibility as coaches, and reach back out and say, hey, I'm opening up a group. Whether you have Shakeology or not, you have the program. Join me, right? And let them join you for the end of the year. So I think don't be so hard on yourself. You guys do an amazing job. They wanted to work out, but maybe a lot of things, got in their way. But I think setting that at the beginning with them, that process is important, because they know that you guys are there. All right, my coach is there. I'm not ready, but I can always come back to them. So that was a great question.
So to close that, you probably can't see that, but this is a picture. I will send it to you. This is a picture that I took of the screen. So there was actually a Stanford study that they did, Stanford University study that said participants who received a biweekly call asking about their fitness progress increased their amount of exercise by an average of 78%. So the Stanford study says at least a biweekly call. A biweekly call would eventually would increase by 78% to keep them accountable with their exercise program.
Yeah.
And we can send you that. These were the slides that they used.
Can you give, Amy wanted to know the name of the podcast.
Oh yeah, sure.
Any other questions?
It is, so just go to just click the podcast, and you're going to search for your virtual upline podcast, personal branding, or just your virtual upline, personal branding. And the guy's name is Bob Heilig, Heilig. And he has a ton of different, Heilig, and he has a bunch of different, this guy is like millionaire in network marketing, and he has all, you can't see that, but he has all the things. And when they told me this, I just downloaded them all, like not all of them, but like 4 of them that I wanted to hear, and I listened to on the plane, come back from California, and he's got some good stuff. And the branding is like, I wouldn't even post again until you hear that one, and then you start from there. You're like, okay, now I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jorge and Gabby, I just want to say something that, you mentioned a lot of good points that you had talked about from your retreat. But when I was talking to you, Jorge, like the energy that you had the other day, and I wish that, Gabby, nothing against you, but Jorge, the energy you had the other day, you had me pumped up. You had me fired up. You guys must have had so much knowledge spit over there at that meeting that I'm pretty sure that you want to say 20 times more things in this call, because I was amped. I was pumped. And when we were talking, and Jamie, I feel you when you're talking about your people are in those groups, and what Jorge said about releasing them. It's so true, because we have people in our groups. And I'll tell you right now, your group is no different than Gabby's group, than my group, than the big groups. If you listen to all the calls or different calls from different teams, a lot of people don't check in. They don't check in their groups. They don't post their meals. They don't post their food. But you know what? We're coaches. At the same time, I hear people saying, I let them post their shake and I let them post their workout. You're not coaching if you're doing a challenge app and you're not following up on meals. Mm-hmm. If you're not getting them results and helping them get their results, you're not a coach. Mm-hmm. Consider that. And at the same time, people aren't checking into our group every day. But what we're doing is, I know that Wendy does it. I know Burns does it. I know I do it. We call our people. We'll give them a ring once a week. Like he said, bi-weekly. Hey, what's up? Like right now, I'm texting people while we're on the call. Hey, listen, I forgot to call you a few days ago. I had a family occurrence. You know, I got a lot of things going on in my personal life, and I let them know that. I got things going on. When can you talk? We need to follow up. I haven't seen you posting. And you know what? That tough love, I'm giving them tough love in the group. I'm hitting them up in the challenge tracker. Wendy's hitting them up in the Facebook group on all different areas, and we're hitting them up on the side. I'll tell you, out of all the people in my group, I got a quarter of them posting their photos. But the other 3/4, we're reaching out personally too. I'm personally touching them. I think the thing that we forget is that after we get them into our group, we almost feel like we closed that deal. They're in here. They got the shake. We're done. We did our job. But you know what? It's actually when the job begins.
Exactly.
That's when it starts. And we have to say, you know what? Hey, we have to actually look at their feed even more. Look at their tags even more. You already friended them on Facebook. You already friended them on IG or whatever it is. Now you got to go back into those posts and say, oh, you're at Margaritaville, right? But you didn't post your drinks and you're wondering why you didn't have results. You don't have to say anything on their post that's in public. Put a smiley face. Hey, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did that to my cousin. My cousin deleted my post. And I called her right after and I was like, hey, what's up? You know, and if I have to, I'll keep hitting her up 5-6 times.
She hasn't started yet.
She hasn't started yet. She purchased.
She went to Vegas.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to have drinks. I'm like, yeah, it's all about smart decisions. But at the end of the day is we have to continue to reach out. And how many times do we reach out?
As many times.
As many as it takes. As many as it takes.
Until they tell you, leave me alone.
Yeah, until they tell you. And releasing them is a good thing. Like I said, all right, you want to go to Vegas? Go to Vegas. Enjoy yourself. Listen, you know, you want results. What I was gonna do, you know, there was something I was looking at while we were talking, and I always write notes down. But one of the things I have here is fitness is not something that you achieve and forget. It's something that you attain and maintain, right? So we here as coaches, we're all getting fit, and we have to maintain it and continue on. Because you know what? What we do, what do they keep saying? In 2-3 months. That's what's going to be the proof of our product in 2 or 3 months. So in 3 months, when January comes and people want to jump on, they're going to say, who do I want to jump on with? You know what? Amy was over here working out in November during Thanksgiving, during October. Bernice was over here doing Insanity. You know, Jamie is over here every single day looking crazy doing all these videos, and he got 2 left feet. No, I'm with him. But you know what?
Country Heat Master.
They're going to look and see who was doing what when.
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 months from now, our hard work is going to pay off, because I see a lot of people giving up, a lot of people bullshitting on the side, and we're not. We're doing our thing. We're continuing on, and that's what we have to do, because us being accountable for ourselves, people are going to keep reaching out. Right now, while we're on this call right now, we had 2 people reach out. One guy's like, hey, listen, I didn't follow up with you. When can you talk tomorrow? Hey, I could talk anytime that you're free tomorrow. He's like, that's great then. I'll hit you up tomorrow. And then one, you had a challenger say, hey, I saw your video with the MMA, with the fighting. That looks pretty cool. Can I order the DVDs and see what's up? She was a challenger that just fell off. Now she wants to jump back on. So they're always watching. You look at your likes, you know what I mean? Like you'll get 120 likes on a video, 120 views and 6 likes. They're always watching. So my only thing, I just wanted to jump in there and just say that don't get discouraged. Keep doing your thing. It's a malicious cycle every year. October, November, December, the 4th quarter of corporate companies, they're tightening their budgets, cutting the fat. In our company, the 4th quarter, people are saying, do I want to go out and party, or do I want to get healthy? Do I want to have that Thanksgiving meal, or do I want to have that, beach body program? No. And then December is coming around. So all we have to do is, we're farmers. Cultivate those seeds and keep following up and keep following up. Listen, I'm not the biggest Success Club earner here. Jamie, you're probably one of the biggest. You know, Burns, you're a big one. You know, Michelle, Nilda, you guys are the big dogs right here, right now. I'm not, but you know what I'm good at? I'm good at keeping people. You know what I'm saying? I can hit up 20 million people and lose 20 million people, but I can hit up 10 people and keep 9. So I'm good at keeping people and maintaining relationships, and that's what we have to do, maintain them all the way through. So that's my 2 cents that I want to throw in this convo tonight.
I actually
keep doing our thing, you know?
Finish that because Melanie, my success partner, her upline coach, her name is Ali Upham, and Ali Upham went on stage and she brought it. Like, she straight up brought it. And that is one of the videos that I recommend you start with. Hers and Fit and Funky, Danielle Natoni.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. She went up there and she said, listen, I am not one of the top recruiters here. You've never, ever heard my name on a national wake-up call. Oh, Ali Upham's never. She said, because I focus on quality over quantity. She said, I focus on Success Club 5, that's 3 people, or Success Club 10, that's 5 people. And she said, and I feel comfortable with that. She said, because guess what? I open a challenge group every single month since I've been a coach, she said, and I do 5 people, maybe even 10. She said, that's probably my max. She said, and it's not that I can't do it, but it's not, you know, like bring in more people, but it's not possible for me to
give her attention,
give her undivided and personal attention to these people. Cause she says, I you know, phone them, especially, you know, she holds them accountable. She's one of the ones that said, you know, you got to release them at some point, whatever. But she said with Success Club 5, time over time, consistently, the compound effect, she's $1 million earner in this company. She's a 15-star diamond, right? She's like, I've achieved everything that you can possibly achieve here in Beachbody with Success Club 5. That tells you a lot. As long as you're doing it, though, consistently. If you're doing it 1 month here and 1 month there, you ain't getting there. But she's like, you know, do I want top 10? She's like, probably not. Because I don't know that I can maintain, you know, give the service I want to give to my people, she said. So you're right, Rudy. And that's why we opened the call. You know, when we did the health bet with Beachbody, all they wanted was sweaty picture and the Shakeology. And I felt in that hard. I mean, I am one of the people that I love checking meals. Like, I can spend hours checking meals because I want to make sure people, you know, obviously are getting results. And in the challenge tracker, you know, when they came with that, it was easier. Like when someone asked the question, I went in, right? But with meals, you got to be in there for at least an hour, checking people's meals, calling people out. And I fell off. And I told Jorge when I was there, I'm like, I've been playing myself, because then I created my own one, my own health bet, right? And it's the same scenario, same rules apply. And I'm not doing what I used to do, which is check meals. That's like my expertise. I stay calling people out, but I haven't done it. And that's why people fall off. So you're right. Quality over quantity goes a long way.
And Gabby, last thing is documenting our journey. We're all doing 3-day refreshes, or a lot of us are going to do it. Let's make sure we document it properly. Like, you know, if we're going to do it, document 3 days of your 3-day refresh, and document, like, you know, every single day you should have like 10 posts. Like, post in the morning, I'm grumpy and I just hate this. In the afternoon, this is how I felt. People are going to relate to you, and that's how you're going to win. Because if you post before and after, you just lost a huge amount of content. And what do they say? It's all about content.
And they followed you. You're right. You know, I did that when we did it last year. We did it last year around this time for the holidays. And it's hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. That 3-day refresh, that second day, because I suffer from migraine, that was hard. And I posted my meals. So it looks good. People look at it, but you also talk about what you're going through, because we want to make sure that we're exposing ourselves. We're being honest. And then when they see the results, and damn, it's only 3 days, I could do this, you know? So it's really a great thing to do. You know, how long? I'm going to end this here. I don't want to have people, not this. How do I stop the recording? Oh, here.